Who would have thought? And this is why these people are going to lose. It's because they view other people flying the flag of the country that they live in as being a problem. I'm sorry, but that's a really, really, really bad principle to stand behind. It's not. It's not a good one. Here we go.
Operation Raise the Colours. I'm sure you've seen it by now, but the English flag, or in some cases the Union flag, is being flown on streets up and down the country, absolutely everywhere. And it is a beautiful sight.
I cannot fucking believe we are actually having this V for Vendetta shit happen right now. This is insane.
To behold. In fact, I think this is nothing short of a genius tactical rebellion by the English people, but not everything is so rosy, because some of the people putting flags up in the street are now being seriously attacked.
What a surprise.
Yeah, let's talk about it. If you're Italian or American or Polish, you probably look at this and think, so what? Everywhere I go in Poland or Italy or America, I see my own country's flag.
He doesn't know. Brother, we have the same problem over here. Yeah. Oh, we got the same issue.
No big deal. Except it is a big deal in England. Because in England, we don't fly our flag. We've been told, in fact, not even told, we've been gaslit for decades into thinking that we should be ashamed of our own flag, of our own history, of our own heritage.
Yeah, great. Yeah, allow a foreigner to come over to your country and tell you that you should be ashamed for your nation's flag. How? It is amazing that people let this happen. I see other countries' flags more than my own country's. As I said, if you want to tell if a protest is in America or not, if there's a bunch of random identity flags flying around, then it's probably in America.
Our own culture. And if you don't believe me, take a listen to this.
Well, I think this is the problem. It's not that the far right have co-opted the flag. It's the fact that we don't seem to
The far right have co-opted the flag. Have you ever thought about the subtext of that? They've decided to co-opt being patriotic, and this is a huge problem for us.
Understand what this country is and the history of these symbols. So both of the flags which you've displayed here, those are the flags which flew on ships which enslaved my ancestors. Those are the flags which the British Army marched into places like India.
By the way, whenever they went over there and the ancestors that your ancestors were fighting against ended up beating your ancestors, and then they sold your ancestors to the people that showed up with those flags. Important distinction here, okay? It's not like they just showed up with a bunch of lassos and nets and said, all right, let's catch them all. No, you got sold into slavery. A lot of these people got sold into slavery by other people in those countries after losing wars and conflicts. Yeah, they sold you out.
Pakistan, Bengal, Africa, and colonized 25% of the world. The reason the far right picks up these flags and has consistently, since the 60s, 70s, since my parents' generation have been in this country, is because these flags represent the racism which they are putting out into the world.
Oh my God.
That's right. That's right. Here's the problem that I think this guy's going to run into. Is that people are so fed up. They are so tired that they're going to start agreeing with you. And you better be worried when that starts happening. Because I think it's going to be pretty damn soon.
It's so boring. We get it. You don't like the English flag. You don't like English history, and it's not much of a leap to...
Exactly. Like they don't like the history of their country, as if any country in the world has like a pristine history where it's never did anything wrong. You think China's never done anything wrong? Russia's never done anything wrong? The United States has never done anything wrong? Like any of these, Zimbabwe has never done anything wrong? These people want these people want to demoralize the British people here by making them feel like there's a generational guilt that they have to undergo in order to talk about their own country. What did Sweden do wrong? I don't know. Didn't they just go and fucking attack a bunch of different random places in Europe? Are you saying wrong was done? Yeah, of course slavery was wrong. That's why we got rid of it. And you know what's pretty funny? Is a lot of the countries that, in Africa, they still have slavery. We don't have slavery here anymore in Europe and in America. It's gone. So you want to find actual slavery, go back there. They still have it. That's the difference.
Assume you also don't like the English people. And that is the tactically genius part of this movement, because it's forced people like CatDany to say that
it's like, oh, it's Muslims doing it, blacks doing this. No, everybody did slavery. Everybody enslaved everybody. This happened constantly. White people do not have a monopoly on slavery. Muslims don't have a monopoly on slavery. Black people don't have a monopoly on slavery, and neither do Asians. We all did it. I mean, it's a pretty simple, like, I mean, if you're like a caveman, the idea of getting another guy to work for you, and if he doesn't work for you, you're going to hit him in the head with a stick. Like, this is a pretty easy idea to come to, right? I mean, it'd be easy for you to come to this conclusion. So everybody did this.
quiet part out loud. They really don't like us. And this shouldn't surprise anyone. CatDany Andrews wrote a book called The Psychosis of Whiteness. And then he had...
Oh, God.
Has the gall to go on live TV and lecture us all about racism. Imagine if I'd written a book called The Psychosis of Blackness. Yeah, so listen, CatDany, if you don't like it here, if you don't like our history...
Get the fuck out of the country and leave.
Our flag, our people, then leave, because nobody will miss you. Go. I mentioned at the start of this video that it looks like some of the guys putting flags up are now being attacked whilst they do it. A few nights ago in York, the police were called to an altercation between some allegedly Pakistani men and some English guys who were flagging their local area. Now, I don't know the full details of that story, but it just doesn't really surprise me. And then last night, apparently one...
Go where? Not my problem. You don't want it, you don't like it here, get the fuck out. Like, it's not my problem. If you want to sit here and complain constantly and act like the country that you're living in has a generational guilt, then go back to where your original country is. Like, it's simple. It's not my problem.
One guy had a petrol bomb thrown at him whilst he was in his car. Yeah.
Move your car, bro. Move your car.
It's hard to say. Like, if I see a video like this, it's hard really for me to have an opinion on it because I only see like the aftermath. It's hard to know what happened leading up to this.
Petrol bombed. Move the car, bro. Putting flags up, got petrol bombed.
Yep.
Why are people such cowards using weapons?
Fucking cowards.
Well, because they want to.
Bastards, mate. What do you think about this, mate?
No comment.
No comment. It's a bit weird,
Impartial, mate.
Huh?
We're impartial.
Impartial, he's just been petrol bombed.
Hey, hey, hey!
I mean, you shouldn't be expecting the police to, like, you know, go and be on your side. Like, as long as they're investigating it, like, the police don't want to get politicized in that way. It's fair.
Out! That's filthy!
Yeah.
Out! Annie!
They can't? Yeah.
Gonna have to film that again now. Let's try that again. So I'll show you that clip just because I know that even though the guy did get a little bit hurt, he's in the care of the police and the paramedics, so he's going to be completely fine, right? He's going to make a full recovery. No. I think the moral of the story here is if you're going to go out flagging your local area, go with friends. Don't just be an easy target for people who want to give you trouble, who want to give you grief, right? Go with some friends. There is an interesting part of that clip as well. Towards the end of it, the police officer says, oh, we're impartial, we're impartial. Yeah, but you're not, are you? Because I've seen footage of you actively trying to stop people putting these flags up.
Hey, they're trying to wrestle us. Hey, we're wrestling with the ladders with the police.
This is such a bad look. Oh my God. That the police are trying to stop people from flying the flag of the country. This is going to backfire so bad. Oh, man. They outlawed knives.
Go on, Billy. Fucking running us over, boys.
Police is Karen infested,
Go on, Billy. Yeah. Wow. Fucking
this country's
that's
fucked.
one of my mates, that.
No, it's
He
not.
said, what? Yeah. Good.
Now, for me, I find the psychology of everything that's happening in Britain at the moment really fascinating. And what you see here is a police officer trying to stop a guy who's completely exposed. He can easily be identified.
Well, the policemen are immigrants as well. I think police officers just don't want to get recorded on like some political thing and then like have that be used. I mean, again, like I'm not like they're just functionaries, right? They're functionaries and they're doing what they're told in a lot of cases. Like the individual officers that are showing up to these cases aren't the ones that are making these decisions in the first place.
Putting a flag up and the guy says, no, I'm still going to do it. That's a real sign of psychological defiance, and I think you can really learn something about the mood of the country, or at least large groups of the country.
It's insane after COVID mandates and vaccines too. People are no longer going to behave after what happened. Exactly. No, I think that COVID was a massive breach of trust between the government and the people, and you're seeing that be manifested everywhere, and I think this is one example of it right here.
By looking at these localized incidents. To me, that's really interesting. Maybe to you, that's really boring. Maybe that's one tiny little event that happened in the middle of nowhere. I find it interesting. Anyway, enough armchair psychology. Let's check in with the BBC.
Somebody says Queen Elizabeth II wouldn't have put up with any of this bullshit. Really? Because she's the one that was in charge when all the bullshit happened. She died like 3 years ago. This has been going on for 30 years. It's her fault.
And look at how they're coping with all of this. Roundabouts vandalised to look like St. George's flags. Okay, meanwhile, rainbow zebra crossings appear in resort.
Oh, man. Wow. That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Interesting. Now, look, I understand that there is a salient difference between these two events. The
absolute fucking S-tier comparison.
Rainbow zebra crossings were no doubt approved by the council, whereas a proud Englishman painting the flag of St. George on the roundabout, that was not approved.
Yeah, but would it have been approved? Probably not. And ask yourself why, and you can see the reason why they're doing it like this.
Ultimately, they are the exact same action, but the BBC has chosen to criminalise the Englishmen using their language and their words. They could have just as easily written English flag painted on roundabout, but they chose not to. And so you can just get a sense through the language that the author is using that they hold contempt for the English flag and the English people. Whilst technically what they're saying by the letter of the law is probably true, it's ultimately a completely harmless act.
Well, it's also, the thing is that, I mean, vandalism isn't necessarily good, but the issue is that these permits are being given out for these identity groups and for these minority groups. But let me ask you the question. If the people that wanted to paint the roundabout like St. George's flag or have a, commemoration of the flag there, do you think that that would have been approved by the city council? Do you think that would have happened? No. It's because they've become occupied by people that are weaponizing their laws and their rules against them.
We know that, right? It's not going to do any damage. It's not going to stop anyone going around the roundabout, is it? Of course it isn't. Let's put this all into a little bit of perspective because, yes, right now people are flying the flag of St. George up and down the country. But for a very long time, people have been flying a different flag across England, the Palestinian flag. And when I talk about this, I'm not making a point about Israel or Palestine because I actually don't care. I'm an Englishman, this is England, and Israel and Palestine are not in England. I don't care. My point is about the flags and the response that the...
By the way, I know there's a lot of terminally online people, but this is the way the majority of people feel. That's the truth. They don't want to be involved with a conflict in the Middle East. Period.
Police and the council had to those flags. They did nothing. They made no effort to intervene. They didn't take any of the flags down. Absolutely nothing. In fact, it's worse.
See, this is the issue, is that whenever the law isn't applied evenly, this is what creates civil unrest and vigilante justice. Is that when, let's say, for example, these people are doing this and nothing happens to them whenever they're flying out these foreign flags, but whenever you're flying the nation's flags, you get in trouble. Well, there you go.
One Scottish guy made a video complaining that his entire street was plastered with these Palestinian flags, and the police came to his house and arrested him at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not even joking. Here is the video
What?
that got this man arrested.
Just come along Bethnal Green Road this morning, and this is the kind of that's going on. Yeah. So there's a look at this. Yeah, you see it? And then over here at this one, we've got this crap going on as well. Yeah. And then we come along to this pole here, and they've then done the same crap here.
It's crazy the level of entitlement that these people have, that they think they can come to a completely foreign country and start flying their own flags of some other foreign country. Oh my God.
Well,
Can you believe that?
Like I said, that video had the guy arrested at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now that was a year ago.
Yep.
And I think the mood of the country and in fact the mood of policing has
mind-boggling,
changed
yeah.
since then. And the reason it's changed is because the English people started to stand up for themselves.
Thank
They started
God.
to say no more will we just be bullied and thrown around at will, okay? We're gonna start fighting for our
I think that once these people get in control of the government, they need to put everybody that was okay with this in jail. That's what I would do. It's because these people have actively tried, they've effectively committed treason. They've sided with foreign powers, foreign interests, and foreign countries over their own, and I would put all of them in jail. It has been an ongoing insurrection for seemingly 20 years. That's the definition of an invasion force? Yeah, of course. This is literally CCP Act, arrest anyone who's different. You're not going to try to like, I mean, I understand like you're going to try to like, oh, but like, what about this other thing? That doesn't work on me. It doesn't work. Yep.
our own existence. And that's why the mood towards us has changed, why it's softened, because we're finally showing a bit of goddamn strength. This is England, we are English. If we want to fly our flag, we have every right to do
jail
so.
will be on
Now,
the
some
table.
people will want to say that this is an insignificant thing, but I really don't think it is. As I said at the start of this video,
Well, it will become bigger over time. I think that's what happens. Things like this start small and then they become bigger.
I think it's really clever. It's forced our opponents to make a whole bunch of errors. The first style of error that we saw with Kehinde Andrews is when people have to come out and say, I don't like you, I don't like your history, I don't like your culture, I don't like your flag. Okay, so now they're just exposed and we look at that and we go, okay, well at least I know what you don't like and it's me, so I guess I also don't like you back. The other style of error is the one that Keir Starmer has made, because Keir Starmer's had to come out and say, oh, I support this. I like seeing the flag of St. George flying.
A patriot who backs the flying of the flag, says Downing Street, sure.
Over England. Does he really? I suspect not. But he has to say it. He's the Prime Minister. How can he not say that he wants to see the flag of England flying in England? And yet some of the people who vote Labour, right, are going to be quite angry about that. Some of the radical leftists are going to be really unhappy with what's going on here with the flag flying everywhere. So that's another forced error. And finally, the councils and the police who are trying to stop these flags going up, look, that is going to push more and more people to the right wing. They're going to be radical.
Of course it will, because like if you can't fly your own flag in your own country, but you can have the flag of another country be flown and you're not allowed to criticize it or you get arrested. This is an invasion. It's treason. Like, again, like I think that the ultimate outcome for this is going to be extremely hostile. And I feel like it's so obvious. How can somebody not think that's what's going to happen? It's occupation? Yeah, exactly.
By that, because they're going to look at it and they're going to just think to themselves, why am I not allowed to fly the flag of St. George, my own nation's flag, in my own nation? That's absolutely ridiculous. That makes no sense. And then they're going to start to understand it. They're going to start to look at it and go, there really is a two-tier system, isn't there? Because Palestinian flags are allowed to fly everywhere, but the flag
That's the issue, is if they didn't allow any flags, nobody'd be complaining. The problem is they allowed some flags because they didn't want to have the bad optics of taking those flags down because they were afraid of offending that group of people.
St. George is not. So yeah, I think this is very, very clever. To those who are, determined to go out and put flags up, it's up to you if you decide to do that or not. I obviously can't recommend that you do that. But if you are going to do it, please try and do it in as safe a way as possible. Take some friends with you so that if there's someone else about and they're not happy with your actions, at least you're not a really easy target.
That's true.
And also to make sure that, you've got someone to hold the ladder for you. Just don't hurt yourself. Don't get yourself hurt. Try and avoid confrontation. But yeah, I think it's fantastic to see the flag of St. George everywhere. I absolutely love it. I really, really do. And it means more to me as an Englishman than seeing the Union flag everywhere, seeing the flag of St. George, because that's the one that was really stripped away from us, pulled away from our identity as Englishmen, right? It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Oh, by the way, I've got a new microphone.
No, I totally agree. Completely support this. Absolutely. The Far West protests turned into riots. Should the patriotic protests turn violent too? No protest should turn violent. The solution is to get the government to be violent on your behalf. When you have vigilante justice, you have chaos. You can't have that. The goal should be get enough people to vote to make your violence legal. That's the solution.
Hopefully the audio is not too
Chaos
bad.
is
I will
bad,
be going
yes.
back to the old microphone at some point, but the receiver kind of broken on it, so I had to get a new...
Voting does nothing, dingbat. Well, hey, if you can't vote, here's the thing. And also I think a lot of people say like voting does nothing whenever they lose a vote. But the fact is that, yes, you're right. I think that violent political reactions are completely justified if there is no democratic way to solve a problem. Because that's the only thing that you can do. Like, for example, I think that you should always, you know, if like, for example, something's votable, like you can vote on something, well then, no, you shouldn't go out and fucking burn down a car or like, you know, be violent about this. That's the reason why, like, for example, like Boston Tea Party or like, you know, the American Revolution, the reason why that happened is very simple. It's because we couldn't vote on the way that we were treated in America. It's a last resort. Yeah, exactly.
Cheaper microphone just quickly whilst I can get a replacement. I've also got a new camera. It should be an upgrade. Let me know if it actually is. Maybe you can't tell the difference. That's all good. But yeah, just let me know how the video quality is and the audio quality. Right, till a future video, thank you very much for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you later.
No, I'm really glad to see this. Hopefully they keep doing it. I think they should push this flag narrative even more. I think the idea that the flag is seen as problematic, but what if your voting system is very undemocratic? Well, I don't know. I think there's definitely a spectrum. I understand the spectrum. I get it. But I'm just talking about it in general. Starship launched in an hour and 20 minutes. Okay. Well, there's a game I was going to look at today too. Why weren't people putting up English flag years ago? That's what's being missed here. The context is the flag is being raised as currently proceeded in response to the anti-immigration movement. To my understanding, not allowing flags isn't a historic thing. Well, here's the problem is that it is absolutely a response to immigration. It is 100% a response to that. People are tired of massive unfettered immigration. They're tired of not being able to talk about it. They're tired of being called a racist when they do. They're tired of it entirely. So that's really it.